Okay, part 3. Due to the fact that part 2 has a shitload of cussing in it, let me apologize for sounding like a hypocrite. Well, I did some hypocritical talking, but I was talking about how we're not raising our daughters to date men. We're raising them to go after thugs and that little element of danger, and they don't have the conscious thought of what can happen to me while I'm dating somebody who's going around doing bad things to bad people and expecting that bad things can't happen to me. Unfortunate side effect it is that somebody has lied to you. If you're dating someone who is bad, you better believe when I tell you that their enemy is your enemy, and their enemy is fixing to do damage to you. Young men, if we're in our daughters' lives, we have a better chance of them actually finding a man instead of some young thug punk that's gonna come in and start disrespecting the fathers and trying to get the big brothers kicked out of the house and getting the girl pregnant at 15 and the girl fucking mind blown by that dick and don't know what the hell to do because doing the right thing is not the right thing to do. Instead, she wants to do dick and have all the fucking sex she wants with some asshole who's really just fucking her for the fuck of fucking. And then she gets pregnant. And then the parents of that child that's pregnant have to decide abortion or baby. And now you have to take care of that baby that your baby had because your baby couldn't get her head out of her ass because she was so busy trying to lick his ass and her own uterus to find out how hard life truly is going to be. Feel where I'm going with that? If young men who have daughters will be in their lives and raise them properly to find a man, the cycle can stop. But as people of color, we choose not to stop the cycle. We want to keep doing the dumb shit instead of doing what's right. And because we weren't raised right, we're not going to raise our kids right. Or let's just say, not say we weren't raised right, let's just say our moral compass is different from everyone else's moral compass, which leads to problems. Problems that people aren't really willing trying to fix. And as long as no one's trying to fix them, it's going to continue to be a problem. So young men, raise your sons to be men and raise your daughters to be women. Young women, raise your sons to be men and your daughters to be women. Don't get them into the fantasy of you're going to marry a man, he's going to sweep you off your feet, take you away, and you're going to live happily ever after and have children, because here's reality. That shit doesn't always work. And if I may quote Maroon 5, fairy tales are full of shit. If that was the case, I would have never be making videos outside of kung fu movies, and I would be happy. Fairy tales are full of shit. Now, I will say dreams come true, but you gotta work hard for those motherfuckers, just like I'm doing right now. I'm not saying give up on your dreams. I'm not telling you to tell your kid he can't be an actor. Black Panther proved that you can have black actors. Other shows, they don't have as much diversity, but they're getting there. Getting there a little slow, but they're getting there. And the thing is, if we stop making heroes of color or people of color play the stereotypical people instead of a normal black person, we might actually have some success. But I will be honest with you, the way things work in the world, it starts at home. If you come from humble beginnings, if you come from a decent background, a decent upbringing, then you will more than likely be successful in life. Every now and again, you may run into a hiccup, like me being the second of 7 children, and some of my siblings fucking up and having a hiccup. I would say that wasn't just parental failure, but it was parental failure in a clusterfuck of a way. Because you would think that the same gender child with the predominant parent would have learned from the predominant parent's mistakes. In my family, not so much. But I'm going to be honest, you don't have to keep making the mistakes of your parents. If you learn from your parents' mistakes, you won't make your parents' mistakes. I have not made my parents' mistakes. Trust me on that. But I've also learned that I'm not going to keep backing them up for them to keep biting off more than they can chew. The best way to learn in society is to learn from other people's bad experiences so that you don't go through those bad experiences. Your mama had one too many kids, become a one and done person. Be like, look, this is how it is. I don't want more than 2 kids because I watched my mom struggle with the 7 of us. I'm not having more than 2 kids. Like, well, what if this happens? What if you have 2 kids, your marriage ends, and you meet a new woman who wants a baby? If she doesn't have a baby, that's fine. And if I'm financially stable to take on the role of another child, that's fine. But if I'm not financially stable, and she's not financially stable, we're not having a third child when I'm already getting fucked up the ass with a red hot poker on the first 2 children. It's just that damn simple. Now, why does this happen? Again, it all starts at home. No consequences for your actions, no disciplining your children, no beating their ass, not teaching them that you can't always do what you want. You have to, at least one time in your life, do what's right. And not when it's the only option, not when it's the last option, but because it's right there and it's the right thing to do. You must do what's right all the time. You must tell your kids, look, I'm not trying to preach to you. I'm not preaching to you. I'm telling you from experience because I've been there. I've been fucked out of my life because of other people's decisions. Why would you let someone else fuck you out of your life? I did. I refuse to continue to let that happen. But people continue to do what they want instead of doing what's right, and that leads us down this road. So we have to raise our children right. Not just morally, not just physically, but mentally and spiritually. We have to raise them right. We have to set them on a path that we know they're not going to get off. And they're not going to let their friends influence them to do drugs or go out and have unprotected sex and partying. And I'm going to tell you, this is going to offend every woman in the world. And I don't care. Because it's the fucking truth. If your girlfriend's fucking, or if your daughter's friend, let me put it that way. If you have a daughter who has a friend who's fucking, you have an easier chance of your daughter being talked out of her drawers by her friend who's fucking than your daughter making that decision on her own. Guys, it's not that hard to talk us into having sex. It really ain't. Let me rephrase that because I probably just offended people from the alternative lifestyle. For straight men, with the woman involved, if it's a guaranteed shot that he's going to get sex and he's not going to go to jail for rape or any of the other stuff, I can almost guarantee you that if a woman tells me tonight that we're doing the nasty, we're bumping uglies, we're parking my car into her garage, whatever analogy you want to say, outside of the words, we fucking, oh, you better believe it's happening. That bag right there, it's got condoms in it. My pockets will have condoms in it. Because if I'm getting mine, I'm making sure I'm not leaving nothing behind. That I'm going to be stuck with somebody who I can't stand for the next 20, 30 years of my life. Because once you have a baby with somebody, y'all are connected. You might not be together, you might not be able to stand each other, but that baby connects you for life. And if I can't stand you, I'll be damned if you gonna have my baby. That is not a motherfucking option. And what happens in black society? No, we don't do that. I'm getting that ass. I ain't worried about the consequences. I'm getting that ass. You give me that ass, I'm gonna bust that ass. 9 months later, the big argument comes about, well, you were sleeping with 3 people and I have you one of them. How do we know it's mine? How do you know she was sleeping with 3 people? She may have only been sleeping with one, because not everything you hear on the street is 100% truth. Now, if you see her sleeping with 3 people, and if y'all all doing it with her in the same damn night, well, yeah, you got proof right there. Now y'all got to go on more. Raise our kids right. That's all these 3 videos I'm trying to say. If we teach our daughters to look for real men, not thugs and not criminals and not people who want to be anything but somebody with an actual job, a career, and a life. If we teach our kids not to follow the in crowd and not to do drugs because everybody and their friends and their mamas and their daddies are doing it, and if you come from a family where drugs is cool, hey, I'm not disrespecting you. As long as you keep it to yourself and you ain't hurting animals and children, that's fine. But I was not raised to fuck with drugs. I was not raised to have unprotected sex. I wasn't raised to go out and do bad things. Now, granted, I will be the first to say the first 6 years of my life were a little bit of hell. From the age of 6 to the age of 12, I was raised to fight in the streets. I own that. And I fought, though. But this is a little bit more important than that. We have to raise our girls to think more of themselves than to just go and sleep with these thugs. and have their babies. We have to raise our boys to be more than these thugs and make babies that they don't want. There's a thin line, and we cross it every day as black people. We don't get that much stuff like this out of white people unless they're like poor white people who live in black neighborhoods who don't see color and mix with us and stuff like that, and probably are more black than black people. We don't see much of this in a lot of Asian communities. Then again, it's because they're not really exposed to us, or we're not really exposed to them, so we don't really know how it works over in Asia. We don't really know how it works over in the Philippines or China or Korea, any of that stuff. But I'm sure there's gangsters and thugs there because the Yakuza and the Triad are some real motherfuckers. Just in case y'all didn't know that those were Triads, it's Chinese gangsters. Yakuza is Japanese gangsters. Now, I don't know what they call them in Vietnam. I don't know what they call them in Korea, North or South. I don't know what they call them in Cambodia. But I know that also in Africa, there are militias running around raping women, making babies, to make more soldiers. These are the things that we want to avoid. These are the men we want to keep our daughters from. Now, rape is a crime, without question. We can't really figure out why the fuck people have to do that, but, you know, the bottom line is simple. If we raise our kids right, men, get in your daughters' lives. Get in your sons' lives. But more importantly, get in your daughters' lives, because daughters generally are the ones that bring the trouble home. And no, I'm not trying to be a sexist. I'm telling the fucking truth. My siblings have brought some trouble home. And they are paying for that trouble. So you need to do the same. You need to get into your daughters' lives to get them right. Get their shit straight. Like, look, honey, I love you. I can't stop you from having sex. But I can make you smart about that shit. Because your daughter's going to have sex. That's a fact of fucking life. She might not have sex with somebody that you would prefer her to have sex with, but she is going to have sex. So once you accept that, you'll be fine. But I'm telling you, for the sake of all that is holy, you want to get her straight. You want to get her on a pill. You want to make her have a condom everywhere she goes. She needs to be prepared, because those purses are big. They're not just big to carry absolutely nothing around. So, let's get our kids straight. I'm James Williams, and you just come back with number 2. I can go on, but I've already made 2 other videos for this, so there you go. Be seeing you.